The second book of Esdras, chapter 1. The
second
book of the prophet Esdras, the son of Sarias, the son of Azarias, the son of Helkias, the son of Sattanias, the son of Zadok, the son of Achitod, the son of Achias, the son of Phineas, the son of Heli, the son of Amarias, the son of Azai, the son of Merimoth, the son of Arna, the son of Ozias, the son of Boris, the son of Abisib, the son of Phineas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron of the tribe of Levi, which was captive in the land of the Medes in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of the Persians. And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Go thy way, and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. Because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me, and have offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath, and despised my counsels. Verse 8. Pull you often the hair of your head, and cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them, unto whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrus and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. Speak you therefore unto them, saying, Thus saith the Most High, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage. I gave you Moses for a leader, and Aaron for a priest. I gave you light and a pillar of fire, and great wonders have I done among you. Yet have you forgotten me, saith the Most High. Thus saith the Almighty, the quails were as a token for you. I gave you tents for your safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there, and triumphed not in my name for the destruction of your enemies, but ever to this day do you yet murmur. Verse 17. Where are the benefits that I have done for you? When you were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did you not cry unto me, saying, Why have you brought us into this wilderness to kill us? It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than to die in this wilderness. Then had I pity among your mournings, and gave you manna to eat, so you did eat angels' bread. When you were thirsty, did I not cleave the rocks, and waters flowed out to your field? For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees. I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Philistines before you. What shall I yet do more for you, saith the Most High? Thus saith the Almighty, when you were in the wilderness in the river of the Amorites, being athirst, and blaspheming my name, I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water, and made the river sweet. What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob? You, Judah, wouldest not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes. Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. When you desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you. Whensoever you shall call upon me, I will not hear you. For you have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. You have not as it were forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Most High. Thus saith the Almighty, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and a nurse her young babes? That you would be my people, and I should be your God. That you would be my children, and I should be your father. Verse 30. I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. But now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. When you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom you have taken and slain, and tore their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, saith the Most High. Thus saith the Almighty, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandments, and done the thing that is evil before me. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I have commanded them. Verse 36. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance, and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Osias, Amos, and Micheas, Joel, Abdias, and Jonas, Nahum, and Habakkuk, Sophonias, Aggeus, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Most High. Chapter 2. Thus saith the Most High, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments by my servants the prophets, whom they would not hear, but despised my counsels. The mother that beareth them saith unto them, Go your way, ye children, for I am a widow and forsaken. I brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you. For you have sinned before the Most High, your power, and done that thing that is evil before him. But what shall I now do unto you? I am a widow and forsaken. Go your way, O my children, and ask mercy of the Most High. As for me, O Father, I call upon thee for a witness over the mother of these children, which would not keep my covenant, that you bring them to confusion and their mother to a spoil, that there may be no offspring of them. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. Woe be unto thee, Assur, you that hidest the unrighteous in me. O you wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah, whose land lieth in clods of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so also will I do unto them that hear me not, saith the Almighty. Verse 10. Thus saith the Most High unto Esdras, Tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel. Their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles, which I have prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of sweet savour. They shall neither labor nor be weary. Go, and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Verse 14. Take heaven and earth to witness, for I have broken the evil in pieces and created the good. For I live, saith the Most High. Mother, embrace thy children, and bring them up with gladness. Make their feet as fast as a pillar, for I have chosen thee, saith the Most High. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places, and bring them out of the graves, for I have known my name in Israel. Fear not, you mother of the children, for I have chosen thee, saith the Most High. For thy help will I send my servants Esai and Jeremy, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits, and as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, whereupon there grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy. Do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and the weak. Laugh not a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. Keep the old and young within thy walls, wheresoever you findest the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give thee the first place in my resurrection. Abide still, O my people, and take thy rest, for thy quietness shall come. Nourish thy children, O you good nurse, establish their feet. As for the servants whom I have given you, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but you shall be merry and have abundance. Verse 28. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Most High. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell.
Be joyful, O you mother, with thy children, for I will deliver thee, saith the Most High. Remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth and show mercy unto them. For I am merciful, saith the Most High Almighty. Embrace thy children until I come and show mercy unto them, for my wells run over and my grace shall not fail. Verse 33. I, Esdras, received a charge of the Most High upon the Mount Horeb, that I should go into Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of the Most High. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, he shall give you everlasting rest. For he is nigh at hand that shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Flee the shadow of this world, receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. Or receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath called you to the heavenly kingdom. Arise up and stand, behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Most High, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Most High. Take thy number, O Sion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Most High. The number of thy children whom thee longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Most High that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. Verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Most High with songs. And in the midst of them there were a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Most High, thy power, you have seen. Chapter 3. In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon, and lay troubled upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Sion, and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High, and said, O Most High, who bearest rule, you spakest at the beginning, when you didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and did breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before you. And you leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him you gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately you appointed death in him and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, peoples, and kindreds out of number. Verse 8. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. And again in process of time he brought the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyed them. And it came to pass in every of them, that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Nevertheless one of them you left, namely Noah with his household, of whom came all righteous men. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, you did choose you a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him you loved, and unto him only you showed thy will, and made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that you would never forsake his seed. Verse 16. And unto him you gave Isaac, and unto Isaac also you gave Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, you did choose him to you, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. And it came to pass that when you leddest his seed out of Egypt, you broughtest them up to the Mount Sinai. And bowing the heavens, you did set fast the earth, moved the whole world, and made the depths to tremble, and troublest the men of that age. And thy glory went through 4 gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that you mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest you not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away, and the evil abode still. So the times passed away, and the years were brought to an end. Then did you raise thee up a servant called David. Verse 24. Whom you commandest to build a city unto your name, and to offer incense and oblations unto you therein. When this was done many years, then they that inhabited the city forsook you, and in all things did even as Adam and all his generations had done, for they also had a wicked heart. And so you gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies. Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Sion? For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how you sufferest them sinning, and have spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and hast not signified it. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Sion? Verse 32. Or is there any other people that knoweth you beside Israel? Or what generation hath so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh you therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found, but in Israel. For when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? For what people have so kept thy commandments? You shall find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Chapter 4. And the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer, and said, Thy heart hath gone too far in this world, and seekest the way of the Most High. Then said I, Yea, my Lord. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee, whereof if you canst declare me one, I will show thee also the way that you desirest to see, and I shall show thee from whence the wicked heart cometh. And I said, Tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past. Then answered I and said, What man is able to do that you shouldest ask such things of me? Verse 7. And he said unto me, If I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise, peradventure you would say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. Nevertheless now have I asked thee but only of the fire and wind, and of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things from which you canst not be separated. And yet canst you give me no answer of them? He said moreover unto me, Thine own things, and such as are grown up with thee, canst you not know? How should thy vessel then be able to comprehend the way of the highest? And the world being now outwardly corrupted, to understand the corruption that is evident in my sight. Then said I unto him, It were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still in wickedness, and to suffer, and not to know wherefore. Verse 13. He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel, and said, Come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more woods. The floods of the sea also in like manner took counsel, and said, Come, let us go up and subdue the woods of the plain, that there also we may make us another country. The thought of the wood was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it. The thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them. If you were judged now betwixt these two, whom wouldest you begin to justify, or whom wouldest you condemn? I answered and said, Verily, it is a foolish thought that they both have devised, for the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea also hath his place to bear his floods. Verse 20. Then answered he me and said, You hast given a right judgment, but why judgest you not yourself also? For like as the ground is given to the wood, and the sea to his floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heaven. Verse 22. Then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, let me have understanding. For it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily. Namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen, and for what cause the people whom you have loved is given over unto ungodly nations, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. And we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. What will he then do unto his name whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Then answered he me and said, The more you searches, the more you shall marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. But as concerning the things whereof you askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by yourself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth. And when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? Then I answered and said, How and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? And he answered me, saying, Do not you hasten above the Most Highest, for thy haste is in vain to be above him, for you has much exceeded. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, How long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, Even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them, until the said measure be fulfilled. Verse 38. Then answered I and said, O Most High that bearest rule, even we all are full of impiety. And for our sakes peradventure it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. So he answered me and said, Go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her. Then said I, No, Lord, that she cannot. And he said unto me, In the grave the chambers of souls are like the womb of a woman. For like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places haste to deliver those things that are committed unto them. From the beginning, look, what you desire to see, it shall be showed thee. Then answered I and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if it be meet therefore, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come. What is past I know, but what is for to come I know not. Verse 47. And he said unto me, Stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto thee. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. After this there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, Consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke. But the drops and the smoke remain behind, so the quantity which is past did more exceed. Then I prayed and said, May I live, thinkest you, until that time, or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, As for the tokens whereof you askest me, I may tell you of them in part, but as touching thy life, I am not sent to show you, for I do not know it.
Un sacrificio vivo, santo, agradable a Dios.
Chapter 5. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now you seest, or that you hast heard long ago. And the land that you seest now to have root, shall you see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, you shall see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth. And the fowl shall take their flight away together. And the sodomitish sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt water shall be found in the sweet. And all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. Verse 11. One land also shall ask another, and say, Is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, No. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show thee such tokens I have leave. And if you will pray again and weep as now, and fast 7 days, you shall hear yet greater things. Then I awakened, and an extreme fearfulness went through all my body, and my mind was troubled so that it fainted. So the angel that was come to talk with me held me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night it came to pass that Salathiel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, Where have you been, and why is your countenance so heavy? Know you not that Israel is committed unto you in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaveth his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Then said I unto him, Go your ways from me, and come not near me. And he heard what I said, and went from me. And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days, so it was, that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again. Verse 23. And said, O Most High, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen thee only one vine. And of all lands of the whole world you hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. And of all the depths of the sea you have filled thee one river, and all the builded cities you have hollowed Sion unto thyself. And of all the fowls that are created you have named thee one dove, and of all the cattle that are made you have provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of peoples you have gotten thee one people. And unto this people whom you lovest you gavest a law that is approved of all. Verse 28. And now, O Most High, why have you given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root have you prepared others, and why have you scattered your only one people among many? And they which did gainsay thy promises and believe not thy covenants have trodden them down. If you did so much hate thy people, yet shouldest you punish them with thine own hands? Verse 31. Now when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night of ⁴ was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell thee more. And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, You are sore troubled in mind for Israel's sake. Lovest you that people better than he that made them? And I said, No, Lord, but a very brief have I spoken, for my reigns pain me every hour while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High, to seek out part of his judgments. And he said unto me, You cannot. And I said, Wherefore, Lord, whereunto was I born then? Or why was not my mother's womb in my grave, that I might not have seen the travail of Jacob, and the wearisome toll of the stock of Israel? He said unto me, Number me the things that are not yet come, gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad, make me the flowers green again that are withered. Open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then I will declare to you the thing that you laborious to know. And I said, O Lord that bears rule, who may know these things? But he that hath not his dwelling with men. As for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof you askest me? Verse 40. Then said he unto me, Like as you can do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so can you not find out my judgment, for in the end the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, Behold, O Lord, yet are you nigh unto them that be reserved to the end. And what shall they do that have been before me, or we that be now, or they that shall come after us? And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, Couldest you not make those that have been made and be now, and that are for to come at once, that you might show thy judgment the sooner? Then answered he me and said, The creature may not haste above the Maker, neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. And I said, As you have said unto thy servant, that you, which givest life to all, has given life at once to the creature that you have created, and the creature bear it, even so it might now also bear them that now be present at once. And he said unto me, Ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, If you bringest forth children, why do you it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said, She cannot, but must do it by distance of time. Then said he unto me, Even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in their times. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the age, even so have I disposed the world which I created. Verse 50. And I asked and said, Seeing you have now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before thee. For our mother, of whom you have told me that she is young, draweth now nigh unto age. He answered me and said, Ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell you. Say unto her, Wherefore are not they whom you have now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer thee, They that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. Consider you therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you. And so are they that come after you less than you, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth. Then said I, Most High, I beseech thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show thy servant by whom you visitest thy creature. Chapter 6. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made,
entonces el verdadero tercer templo es el cuerpo de Yahweh Shai. El cuerpo de Yahweh Shai, mira, el cuerpo de Yahweh Shai es la iglesia. Y si el templo y Yahweh Shai dijo
wherever the heights of the air were lifted
que
up,
va a
for the measures
construir
of the
este templo en 3
firmament were
días.
named, wherever the chimneys of Sion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and wherever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Esdras, ask ye not. I answered then and said, O Most High that bearest rule, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens, whereof thou showest me part the last night. Verse 13. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon thy feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be, as it were a great
Juan
motion,
capítulo 2
that the
versículo
place where you standest shall not be moved. And
19.
therefore, when it speaketh, be not afraid, for the
Yahweh
word
Shai
is of the
respondió,
end, and the foundation of the
destruyan
earth
este
is
santuario,
And
y en
why?
3 días lo
Because
levantaré.
the speech of these things trembleth and is
Los
moved.
judíos le
For it knoweth that
contestaron,
the end of these things
46
must
años
be
se ha
changed.
tardado en construir
And it
este
happened that
santuario,
when I had heard
y
it,
tú lo
I
vas a
stood up
levantar en
upon
3
my feet
días.
and hearkened. And
Pero él
behold,
hablaba del
there
santuario
was
de
a
su
voice that
cuerpo.
spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition
Entonces,
of
si
them,
la cabeza,
what they be that have hurt
si Yahweh
unjustly
Shai es
with
la
their
cabeza,
unrighteousness. And when
el
the
cuerpo
affliction of
son los
Zion shall be
escogidos,
fulfilled, and when the world that shall
que
begin
los
to vanish
escogidos,
away shall be finished,
que son la
then will I
piedra
show
viva.
these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all
Porque el tercer
together.
templo
And
no es un
children
templo
of a year
físico,
old shall speak with their voices.
es
The woman with child shall bring forth unto
el
the
tercer
children
templo
of
es
3 or 4 months
el
old,
cuerpo de
and they
Yahweh
shall
Shai.
live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear
Entonces
unsown.
esos cristianos que
The
están
full
esperando que se
storehouse
construya
shall
un tercer
suddenly
templo en
be found
Israel,
empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound,
nunca lo van a ver.
which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Verse 25.
Entren en la construcción de un edificio
Whosoever
espiritual para un
remaineth from all
sacerdocio
these that
santo.
I have told thee shall escape, and see my salvation.
Porque
in the
ahora
end of your world.
todos los
And the men that are
144,000
received shall see,
son
who have not
sacerdotes.
tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be
La nación
changed
entera de
into
Israel
For
van a
evil
ser
shall be put
sacerdotes,
out, and
los
deceit
hombres.
shall be quenched.
Todos los hombres de
As
Israel
for
van a
faith,
ser
it shall
sacerdotes porque
flourish,
nosotros vamos
corruption shall be overcome,
vamos
and the
a
truth
tomar
which hath been so long without
el
fruit
lugar
shall be
de
declared.
hasta los 2/3 cuando
And when he
reencarnen.
talked with me, behold, I looked,
Vamos a
and
tomar
I
el
little
lugar
and
de
little
los
upon
levitas.
people and stood.
Toditos vamos a ser como levitas, vamos a ser sacerdotes.
I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. If you will pray yet more and fast 7 days
sacrificios
again,
espirituales.
I shall tell thee greater things
Estos son
by day
sacrificios
that I
espirituales,
have
lo que estamos
heard.
haciendo ahora.
Verse 32.
Lo que yo estoy haciendo
For
ahora.
thy voice is heard before the Most High, for the mighty hath seen thy righteous dealings. He hath seen also thy chastity, which you hast had ever since your youth. And therefore hath he sent me to show thee all these things, and to say unto thee, Be of good comfort and fear not. And hasten not with the times that are past, to think vain things, that you mayest not hasten from the latter times. And it came to pass after this, that I wept again, and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress.
Que la piedra que los constructores desecharon,
from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus, let heaven
que cree en ella no será
and thy
confundido.
word was a perfect word. And then was the spirit,
Porque el autor de la confusión es Satanás.
The sound of man's
Entonces,
voice
si tú
is
crees
not
en la piedra,
then commandest you a fair
no
light
será
to come forth
confundido.
of thy treasures, that thy work might appear.
Y no nos
Upon
llevamos
the
por las
second day you
maquinaciones
made
de
the spirit
Satanás.
of the firmament, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a
Como dice-
division betwixt the waters, that the one part might go up, and the other remain beneath. Upon the 3rd day you didst command the waters should be gathered in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts have you dried up and kept them, to the intent that of these some be
Segundo
men
Corintios
of the
capítulo
Most
2,
High,
versículo
until
11.
might serve you.
para no ser engañados por Satanás, pues no ignoramos su
For
propósito.
immediately there was great and innumerable fruit, and many and diverse pleasures.
Porque Satanás es el autor de la confusión. Yahweh le da autoridad, le da la orden a Satanás para que haga lo que tenga que hacer, y después Satanás, él hace, por ejemplo, cuando los ángeles se le presentaron a Yahweh para preguntarle, cuando Yahweh estaba preguntando, ¿cuál de ustedes va a engañar a Ahab para que sea destruido? Y un ángel malvado se le presentó y le dijo, mira, yo voy a hacer un espíritu mentiroso en la boca de los profetas de él. Y Yahweh dijo, está bien, vea lo que tú vas a tener éxito. Porque Yahweh ya sabe lo que va a pasar. Ya él sabe el resultado. Entonces, ¿a dónde está el libre albedrío?
Unto Enoch he gave us one part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan he gave us the 7th part, namely the moist, and has kept him to be devoured of whom you will and when. Upon the 6th day you gave his commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these, Adam also, whom you made as Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, and the people also whom you have chosen. Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Most High, because you madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also
Mateo
come of
24,
Adam,
versículo
he has said that
24.
they are nothing,
Porque
but be
subirán
like unto
falsos
spittle,
cristos
and has
y
likened
falsos
the abundance
profetas
of them unto a drop
que harán
that
grandes
falleth from
señales y
heaven.
prodigios,
And now, O
capaces
Most
de
High,
engañar,
behold, these heathen which
si
have
fuera
ever been
posible, a los
prudent
mismos
and
elegidos.
have begun to be lords over us.
Si fuera
and
posible,
devour
pero no es
them.
posible.
But we, your people,
Porque los
whom you have
elegidos
called
están
thy
destinados.
firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy favorite lover, are given
Puede
into
ser que
their
al principio
hand.
te engañen,
If the
porque
world
muchos de
now be
nosotros
made
salimos
for
de
our
esas
sakes,
iglesias.
why do we not possess
Nos
an
engañaron por un
inheritance
tiempo
to the world? How long shall this endure?
determinado. Pero nosotros fuimos destinados a salir de esas
And when I had
iglesias.
made an end of
de esas
speaking
doctrinas
these
falsas.
words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent
Nosotros estamos
unto me the
destinados
night before. And he said unto me,
Yahweh
Up,
Ratazá,
Esdras, and hear the
a
words
salir
that I
de
have
eso
come
y
to
entrar la
tell thee.
verdad.
And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then
Así
said
que
he
realmente,
unto
si
me,
tú saliste,
The
no te
sea is
engañaron.
set in a wide place, that
Porque
it
para
might
que el
be deep
engaño-
and great.
Para que el
But
engaño
put
de
in case the
Satanás sea
entrance were
concreto,
narrow and like a river,
tú tienes que
who then could go
quedarte
into the sea to
en el
look
engaño,
upon it
pero
and
no es
to rule it?
posible
If
que él
we
te pueda
went not
engañar,
through the
que él te
narrow,
pueda
how could
confundir
it
si
come to the
tú
broad?
crees en la piedra
There is also
angular
another thing. A city is
que
builded
dice
and
en
set upon
Segundo
a broad
Pedro.
field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto
Una
a man
piedra
for an
angular.
inheritance, if he never shall pass the dangerous
Una
set
piedra
before
elegida
it, how shall he
que
receive his
Yahweh
inheritance?
eligió.
Verse 10.
a esa piedra.
Said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto
Y
me,
piedra angular
Even so
significa
also is Israel's
que
portion,
esa es la piedra
because
principal.
for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this
Ahora
world
esa piedra
made
Yahweh
narrow, full of
es una piedra de
sorrow and
tropiezo
travail. There are
para
but
aquellos
few
que no
and
creen en la
evil,
palabra.
full of perils and very painful.
y
For the
que creen en la
entrances
palabra
of
de
the
acuerdo
elder
a la
world
verdad y en
were
el
wide and
espíritu.
sure and brought immortal
Esa
fruit.
mujer que pasó
If
por
then
ahí,
they that
pasó
live
una mujer
labor not
blanca
to enter these straight
una
and vain
bicicleta que
things,
dijo
they
que
can never
amén.
receive those that are laid
Esa
up
mujer
for
pudo
them.
haber sido una edomita.
Now therefore, why disquietest
O
you
quizá una
thyself,
israelita,
seeing
quién
you are but
sabe,
a
no se sabe.
corruptible man? And why are you
Porque los
moved,
israelitas
whereas
le
you are
gustan,
but mortal?
le
Why have you
gustan
not
honrar con la
considered in
boca,
thy
con los
mind
labios,
this
pero
thing
no
that
con
is
el
to
corazón.
come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Most High, that bearest rule, you hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above the Most High, and none that hath understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. For he hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. Verse 25. And therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come, that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son, the Messiah, shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice with him 400 years.
Cualquiera que cree
After
en esa
these
piedra
years
angular
shall my
en
son, the
Yahushua
Messiah, die, and all men that have
no será
life.
confundido.
And the world shall be turned into the old silence in
ya
7
es
days,
como tu
like as
cobertura.
in the former judgment, so that no man
Él
shall
es
remain.
como un
And after
escondite
7 days the world that yet awaketh not shall
para
be raised
aquellos
up,
que
and
creen
that
en
shall
él.
die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore
Y va a
those
llegar
that
un
are
tiempo
asleep
en que
in her, and so shall the dust
Yahweh
those that dwell in silence.
va a mostrar
And the
milagros en la
secret
tierra para
places
que
shall
venga más
deliver
gente a
those
la
souls
verdad,
that
porque
were
ahora,
committed unto them.
si tú
And
crees en
the
la
Most
verdad
High
ahora,
shall
si
appear
tú
upon
crees en
the
esto
seat of
ahora,
judgment, and misery shall
tú
pass
estás más
away,
bendito que
and the
aquellos que no
long
ven,
suffering shall have an end.
porque tú
But
crees ahora
judgment
sin
only
ver.
shall remain, truth shall stand,
Imagínate
and faith shall wax
cuando
strong.
aquellos que
And the
vean
work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed,
se conviertan
and the
y
good deeds shall be of
Yahushua
force,
dice que
and
aquel
wicked
que
deeds shall bear no
bendecido
rule.
aquel que no
Verse
ve y
36.
cree.
Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and the Messiah after him for Israel in the time of Achan, and Samuel and David for the destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary, and Elias for those that received rain, and for the dead that he might live, and Ezekias for the people in the time of Sennacherib, and many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time.
Juan capítulo 20, versículo 29. Te dice Yahushua, porque me has visto, has creído. Dichosos los que no han visto y han creído.
Righteousness is grown, and truth
Ustedes
is sprung
que no han visto
Then
nada
shall no man be
todavía
able to save him
y
that
creen.
is
Ustedes nada más
destroyed,
han
nor
visto,
to oppress him that hath gotten
ustedes
victory.
de una manera sí lo han visto, porque nosotros somos el verdadero cuerpo de Yahushua, ustedes ya están viendo Yahushua. Cada vez que veo un video, están viendo Yahushua. Yo soy parte del cuerpo de Yahushua.
For what profit is it for men now in this present
Entonces
time to
ustedes
live in
creyeron.
heaven, and after death to look for punishment? O you Adam,
Pero
what have you
bendecido
done?
es
For though
el
it was
que
you
no ha
that
visto,
sinned, you are not fallen
el que
alone,
cree y no ha
but
visto.
all that come of you. For what profit
Porque
is
cuando
it unto
llegue
us if there be
Yahushua,
promised
cuando esté
us
establecido el
in
reino de
more time,
Yahushua,
whereas we have done the works that
habrá
and that there is promised
varios
us an
rangos
everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain.
de estado social en Israel. Habrá varios rangos en el mundo entero va a haber varios
The
rangos.
glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have
Primero
led
bata
away
Yahushua, la
life,
cabeza de
whereas
todo el
we have
mundazo.
walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should
Después
be
los
showed a
144,000,
paradise whose fruit
después
endureth forever,
de
wherein
Yahushua
is
y David,
security and medicine, since
después
we
de
shall not
David,
enter
los
into
12
it,
apóstoles,
for we have walked in unpleasant
después los
places,
12 apóstoles,
and that the faces
los
of them which have
144,000.
used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas
ese
our
es
faces shall be
el
black
cuerpo
in
gobernador de
darkness.
Israel.
For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not
Me imagino
that we should begin to
que
suffer
David va a
for
ser
it
como el
after
primer
death.
ministro eterno
Then answered he me and said,
del reino de
This is the
Yahushua.
condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
La casa de
That if
David.
he be overcome, he shall suffer.
Y la casa
as
de
you have
David va a
said.
ser el
But
cuerpo
if he get
gobernante
the
en la
victory,
tierra.
he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life
La casa de
whereof
David
Moses
viene siendo los
spake to the people while he
144,000.
lived, saying, Choose you life that you mayest live.
Debajo de
Nevertheless,
los
they believed
144,000,
not him, nor yet the prophets after
el
him.
resto de
No, nor
los
me,
remanentes
which have
que
spoken
creyeron,
that
que
there should
creyeron
not be such
antes de que
evidence
llegó
in their
Yahushua.
destruction. That shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation.
porque ellos creyeron antes de aquellos. Y esos son el tercio de Israel que se va a salvar en estos últimos tiempos. Debajo del techo son los 2 tercios de Israel.
And that he is patient and long suffereth those that have sinned.
Los 2 tercios de Israel que va a volver y ellos van a volver con vergüenza, como dice.
More and more mercies to them that are present and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein. And he pardoneth, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain living. And being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word, and put out the multitude of contention, there should be very few left peradventure.
Daniel capítulo 12, versículo 2. Muchos de los que descansan en el polvo de la tierra se despertarán. Uno para la vida eterna, otro para vergüenza y horror eterno.
I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras. As when you askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created.
Los maestros brillarán como el resplandor del firmamento, y los que enseñaron a muchos a ser justos como las estrellas para siempre. Y tú, Daniel, guarda estas palabras y sella el libro hasta el momento final. Muchos lo consultarán y aumentarán su saber. Por eso que estos cristianos, tú vas a una iglesia cristiana y estos pastores te dicen, no, varón, no se puede entender el libro de Apocalipsis porque ese libro está sellado, varón, eso no se puede entender ahora. Enfócate en esa carata, mete agua en esa carata para que se te mande una bendición, varón.
And 9 months does your workmanship endure your creature which is created in her.
¿Por qué es que los pastores dominicanos les gusta decir varón tanto? Yo no entiendo eso.
And when the time cometh, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it.
Entonces muchos de los muertos que se van a despertar a la vergüenza eterna son el 2 tercios de Israel, como dice Zacarías, que están destinados, que van a despertarse y van a tener vergüenza porque despreciaron la palabra y fueron destruidos.
And you shall mortify it as your creature, and quicken it as your work. If therefore you shall destroy him which with so great labor was fashioned, It is an easy thing to be ordained by thy commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved.
Proverbios 13, versículo
Now
13.
therefore, Most
Quien
High will
desprecia la palabra se
speak, touching
perderá.
man in general,
Quien respeta el
you know
mandato
it
será
best, but
recompensado.
touching your people, for whose sake I am sorry, and for thine inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel,
En inglés
for whom I
dice,
am
en vez de
heavy,
mandato,
and for
dice
Jacob, for whose sake
la
I
ley.
am troubled.
Dice otra cosa.
Therefore will I begin to pray before you for myself and for them. For I see the faults of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come.
El
Therefore
mandamiento.
hear my
El
voice and
mandato.
understand my words, and I shall speak before thee. This is the beginning of the words of Esdras before he was taken up. And I said, verse 20,
Tú ves,
O Most High, you that dwellest in everlastingness, which beholdest from above,
La
things
palabra
in heaven
en
and in
hebreo
the earth, whose throne
es
is inestimable, whose glory may not
Matazawá.
be comprehended, before whom the host of
Matazawá,
angels
que
stands
significa
trembling, whose service is
la ley.
conversant in wind and fire,
Eso está hablando de la
whose word
ley.
is true and sayings constant,
La ley levítica.
whose commandment is strong and
La ley
ordinance
de Israel.
whose look drieth up the depths, and indignation maketh the mountains to melt away.
Que es todo deber del hombre es
Oh, hear the prayer of thy
temerle a
servant
Dios,
and give
creer
ear to the
Yahawashi
petition of
Yahushai,
thy creature.
no creer en Yahushai y guardar el mandato, la ley. Porque ellos despreciaron la palabra, la ley. Van a despertarse cuando ellos vuelvan a reencarnar. Y cuando ellos crezcan, ellos van a estar, cada vez que vean a un escogido, a un 144,000, van a estar con una vergüenza. Yo le pasé al lado a ese tipo y no le hice caso. En el 2020 yo le pasé por el lado. O en el 2020, en el 2019 yo vi un video durante la pandemia en el 2021. Yo vi varios videos y no le hice caso. Esa van a ser la gente que se van a despertar a la vergüenza eterna. Pero van a ser israelitas, como quieran.
For the just, which have many good works laid up with you, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man that you shouldest take displeasure at him? Or what is a corruptible generation that you shouldest be so bitter toward it? For in truth there is no man among them that be born that he have
Y horror eternos.
and among the
El horror
faithful there is
eterno que
none
está
which hath
reservado,
not done amiss. For in this, O Most High, thy
que están
righteousness
reservados
and thy
para
goodness shall be
aquellos que
declared, if you be merciful unto them which have
que
not
no
the
tienen a
confidence of
Yahushai.
good works. Then answered he me and said, Some things have you spoken aright, and
Básicamente eso
according
está hablando
unto thy word
de
it
los
shall be.
edomitas.
For indeed I will not
Esos son
think on
horrores
the
eternos que van a
disposition of
sufrir.
them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before
Pero, y
destruction.
los gentiles que van a
But I
sufrir
will
los
rejoice over
horrores
the disposition
de
of the
tener que,
righteous,
bueno,
and I will remember also their pilgrimage,
horrores,
and the salvation and the reward
porque los
that they
gentiles
shall
van a
have. Like as I
poder
have
vivir después de
spoken
2000
now, so
años
shall it come to
de
pass.
Yahushai. Ellos van a
For
estar,
as the husbandman soweth much
ellos van a
seed
estar
upon the
en...
ground,
Mira, horror
and
eterno,
planteth
mira,
many
eso es...
trees, and yet the thing that is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither doth
Eso
all
es
that is planted
simbolismo.
take root. Even so is it of
Muchos de
them that
ustedes
are
cuando
sown
ustedes
in
están
the world.
trabajando,
They shall not all be saved.
el tiempo pasa muy lento cuando tú estás en el trabajo.
If I have
Pero
found
cuando tú estás
grace, let me
gozando, el
speak.
tiempo pasa rápido.
Verse 43. Like as the husbandman seed perisheth, if it come not up and receive not thy rain in
Por
due
eso,
season,
cuando tú estás
where there
trabajando
come too
y
much
es un
rain
trabajo
and
aburrido,
corrupted,
monótono,
even so perisheth man also,
tú dices,
which
mire,
is
yo estoy
formed with thy
esto es para
hands,
siempre,
and
que
is called
estamos aquí,
thine own
que
image.
estamos, se parece como que
Because you
estamos
are
aquí
like
para
unto
siempre.
him, for whose sake you have made
Eso es
all
básicamente
things,
una
and likened
exageración,
them
un
to
simbolismo,
perfection.
una manera de hablar, un horror eterno.
Be not wroth with us,
Porque
but
se
spare
parece
thy
que
people,
cuando
and
tú
have
estás
mercy
sufriendo,
upon
las
thy
cosas te
own
parece
inheritance.
que duran para
For you are
siempre.
merciful unto your creature.
Entonces, ese horror eterno se refiere al castigo que va a sufrir los edomitas, los dos tercios. Bueno, los dos tercios no. La vergüenza, ellos van a tener vergüenza eterna. Pero los edomitas y los gentiles van a sufrir ese horror en la esclavitud. Cuando ellos entren en esclavitud debajo de Israel por 1000 años.
And have not judged yourself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous.
Porque van a ser esclavos
For
por
many
1000
great
años.
misery shall be done
Cuando se
to them
acaben
that
los
in
1000
the
años,
latter time shall
serán
dwell in the
sueltos, los
world,
edomitas van a
because they
volver a
have
engañar
walked in great pride.
a las naciones.
But understand you
Y
for
los
yourselves
demás,
and
los
seek out the
gentiles,
glory for such
van a
as
volver
do
a su
like
propia
you.
tierra que Yahweh
For unto you is paradise
les apartó
open, the tree of
desde el
life is
principio.
planted, the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, the
Porque
city
Yahweh
is builded, and rest
le
is
apartó la
allowed,
tierra a
yea,
todas las naciones.
perfect goodness and
Cada
wisdom.
nación tiene su propia tierra.
Verse 53.
Ellos van a volver a su
The
propia
root of
tierra.
evil is sealed up from you,
Israel va a volver a
wickedness
Israel.
from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Y también vamos a
Sorrows are
tener
past, and in the end is showed the treasure of
otros planetas.
immortality. And
Porque hay varios
therefore,
planetas en el
ask you no
universo
more questions
que
concerning the multitude of them that perish.
no son, que
For when
son
they had
habitables
taken
por
liberty,
seres
they
humanos y
despised the Most High, thought scorn of
el
his
Señor
law,
nos va a
and forsook
regalar
his
esos
ways.
planetas.
Moreover, they have trodden down his righteousness, and said in their heart that there is no God.
¿Ustedes creen que
Yea,
solamente
and that
vamos a
no
vivir en la
man
tierra?
must die. For as the thing aforesaid shall receive you,
La
so
nación de
thirsty
Israel es
pain
demasiado
prepared
grande
for them. For it was
para
not his
este
will
mundo.
that men should come to naught. But they which be created have
Y los
defiled the name
maestros
of him that
brillarán
made
como el
them,
resplandor.
and were unthankful unto him which prepared a life
Aquellos
for them.
que enseñaron la
And
verdad.
therefore is my judgment now at hand. These
Los
things have I not
144,000
shown unto all men, but unto
que aprendieron
you,
el
and
cantico
you
nuevo.
like Then
Porque
answered
solo
I and
ellos
said,
pueden aprender el
Behold,
canto
O Most
entero.
High, now have you shown me the
Y los
multitude of the
escogidos,
wonders which you will begin to do in the last time.
El tercio, el remanente
But at
de
what
Israel
time
puede
you have not
aprender
shown
algunos
me.
versos.
Chapter 9. He answered me then and said, Measure you the time diligently in itself. And when you see as part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shall you understand that it is the same
Y van a
time
brillar,
when the
literalmente van a brillar, porque en Moisés, cuando él bajó
Therefore, when there shall be seen
del monte,
earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
después de
then
pasar
shall you
40
well
días y 40
understand that
noches,
the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before you,
cuando él bajó con los
even from the
mandamientos,
beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has
la
a
cara de él
beginning
estaba
and an
brillando.
end, and the end is manifest. Verse 6.
Así que eso va a ser literalmente, nosotros vamos a brillar literalmente. Y imagínate a Yahushua como él va a brillar, porque dice que él va a ser la luz de Israel desde el mundo entero. Y dice que cuando él estaba aquí era de día y la noche se acerca pronto, después de que cuando él murió y él fue llevado en la luna, en la nube. Cuando él fue llevado en la nube, llegó la noche a la tierra. Y ahora mismo estamos en la noche. Y se está acercando el día de nuevo, porque él va a volver de nuevo para redimir a aquellos que él compró con su sangre.
But inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Verse 14. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, Like as the field is, so is also the sea. As the flowers be, such are the colors also. Such as the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed. But now the
Segundo Esdras, capítulo 2, versículo 11.
that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable.
Su gloria
So I
también
considered
la
the world,
tomaré.
and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to
Y
it.
dale a estos los
And I saw
tabernáculos
and
eternos
scored it greatly, and have
que yo les
taken the
preparé.
grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people.
Entonces el tercer cuerpo el tercer templo de Salomón
So with great labor have I made it
es
Nevertheless,
es el
you
cuerpo
will
de
feast yet
Yahushai.
7 days more, but you shall not fast
Y
in me.
Yahushai
But go into a field of flowers where no house is built,
es
and
la,
eat only the
es
flowers
la
of the field.
reencarnación de Salomón.
Taste no flesh, drink
Para
no
que
wine,
ellos
but
puedan
eat
entender,
flowers only.
porque
And
la
pray
doctrina de
unto the highest
reencarnación
continually,
es
then will I
una
come
carne,
and talk with you.
es una carne
Verse
y
26.
una piedra de tropezante,
So I went
una
my
piedra
way into the
tropezante
field
para los
which is
cristianos
called
cuando oyen esta
Ardar,
verdad por la
like
primera
as he
vez
commanded
y
me.
oyen de
And there I
reencarnación
sat
y de
among
que
the
Saúl es el
flowers,
hombre
and the
blanco,
meat of the herbs of
yo no
the
quiero
field,
eso, varón.
and the meat of the same satisfied me.
Una abuela blanca.
After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk before the Most High, and said, O Master, you have showed yourself unto us.
Los
You will
tabernáculos
show it
eternos.
unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no
Eso está
man
hablando de los
treaded,
cuerpos nuevos.
in a
Nosotros vamos a
barren
tener los
place
cuerpos
till we
nuevos.
came out of Egypt. And you spoke, saying, Hear me, O Israel,
Vamos a vivir para
and mark
siempre.
my words,
Imagínense en
you
eso, que vamos a
seed of
vivir para
Jacob.
siempre.
For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring
Hay mucha gente que se imaginan la
ye shall be
inmortalidad
honored
en
in it
este mundo.
forever. But our fathers which
Pero yo
received the
no
law
quisiera
kept
ser
it not,
inmortal en
and
ese
observed
mundo.
not thy
Vivimos
ordinances.
de Esaú.
And though the fruit of
En
thy
este
law
mundo
did
como
not
si
perish,
supongamos
neither
de que el
hid it,
mundo le va a
for it was
pertenecer a
yours.
Esaú para siempre.
Yet they that
Y el
received
mundo le
it
va a
perished,
pertenecer a
because
Esaú
they
para
kept
siempre. Mira
not
lo que
the
va a
thing
hacer
that
Esaú.
was sown in
Esaú
them.
es un
And
maldito
lo, it is
cáncer
a
en la
custom
tierra.
when the ground hath received seed, for the
Mira lo
seed
que va a
is
hacer
fit for
Esaú.
any vessel, meat or drink, that
Supongamos
being
que-
perished wherein it was sown or cast
Supongamos
in
que
seed.
Esaú
That thing also which was
que-
sown
que
or cast therein
nunca
or
le
seed does
le
perish,
dio
and remaineth not with
la
us,
bendición
but
a
with us
Jacob.
it hath not
Nunca le
happened
vendió
so. For we that have received
la
the law
bendición a
perish by
Jacob
sin, and our
por
heart
un
also
plato de
which
comida,
received
por un tazón de
notwithstanding the law
comida.
perisheth not, but remaineth in his course. And when I spake
Supongamos que
these
Esaú
things
se
in my
quedó
heart, I
con
looked back with mine eyes, and upon the right side I saw a woman. And behold, she mourned and wept with a loud
Esaú
voice, and was much grieved in heart.
va a
And
destruir
her
el
clothes
planeta
were
entero.
rent, and she had ashes upon her head.
Si ustedes ven en la
Then
película
let I my
Elysium,
thoughts go that
con
I
Matt
was in,
Damon,
and turned me unto her,
donde ellos construyen
and said unto her, Wherefore weepest you? Why are you so
una
grieved
base
in your
espacial,
mind? And she said unto
donde
me,
todos los
Sir,
ricos
let me
se
alone,
fueron
that
allá
I may
arriba
bewail
para vivir,
myself, and add
y
unto
todos los
my
pobres
sorrow.
se quedaron en la
For I am
tierra,
sore vexed in my
con
mind,
todos los
and brought
recursos de
very
la tierra
low.
seca.
And I said unto her, What
Esaú
aileth you?
va a
Tell
chuparle
me.
todos los recursos de la
She
tierra,
said unto me, I, your
va
servant,
a
have been barren
contaminar
and
toda la
had no
fuente de
child, though I
agua,
had a
todos los
husband
ríos,
30
todo
years.
el océano
And those
entero.
30 years I did nothing else day and night,
Va a
in every
deforestar,
hour, but make my prayer to the highest.
Va a mochar
After
todas las
30 years,
matas.
the Most High heard me, your handmaid,
No va a
looked
quedar
upon my
sitio.
misery, considered
Mira
my
lo que están
trouble,
haciendo en
and
la
gave me a
Amazonas.
son.
Están
And I was very glad
Bolsonaro,
of him, so was my
ese
husband
presidente
also,
domita de
and all my
Brasil,
neighbors.
está
And we gave
permitiendo
great
que
honor unto
la
the Almighty,
deforestación
and I nourished him with great
en
travail.
Brasil.
So when he grew up and came to the time that
Si
he should
Esaú
have a
tuviera el
wife,
mando
I made a
total,
feast.
completo, mira lo que van a hacer. Ellos van a construir, ellos van a conseguir
Chapter
tecnología
2.
para irse a otro planeta.
And it so
Y
came
creo
to
que van
pass that when
van a
my
irse a
son
otro
was
planeta
entered
para
into
hacer lo
his
mismo que
wedding
hicieron
chamber,
aquí.
he fell down and
Destruyeron
died.
este planeta, van a ir a
Then
otro
we all
planeta, van a
overthrew the
destruir
lights, and
ese
all my
planeta.
neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took
Van
my
a tener
rest until
mega
the second day at
corporaciones,
night.
porque las corporaciones,
And it came to
son-
pass when they had all left off the company,
¿en qué residen las
to the end I
corporaciones?
might be
En
quiet.
edificios
Then rose I up
altos,
by night
altísimos,
and fled, and came hither into this field, as you see.
porque a Esaú le gusta vivir en
And I
los
do now
montes,
purpose not to return into
en
the
la
city,
piedra,
but
en,
here
en,
to
en,
stay,
en- como,
and
¿cómo
neither
se
to
dice? En
eat
los
nor
peñascos.
drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die.
Y
Then left I the
esos edificios grandes
meditations
como
wherein
en
I
Nueva
was,
York,
and spake to her in anger, saying,
eso le recuerda a
You foolish
Esaú
woman, above
como él
all
vivía
other sees
en,
you not our
en,
mourning, and
en
what
Petra.
happeneth unto us? How that Zion,
Como él
our
vivía en
mother,
Petra,
is
como él
full
vivía
of
en el
all
mundo
heaviness,
antiguo.
and much humbled mourning very sore.
en
And
el
now,
monte
seeing we
Seir,
all mourn,
antes
are
de
sad,
que él se mudó
for
de
we
ahí.
are all in heaviness. Are you grieved for one son?
Entonces,
For ask the earth, and she shall tell you
irá a
that it
otro
is she which
planeta,
ought to mourn for the fall
destruirá
of so
ese
many that
planeta.
flow upon her. For out of her came all
Ellos
at the
buscarán
first,
otro
and out
planeta,
of
van a
her shall
destruir
all
ese
others
planeta.
come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction,
Si a,
and a
si
multitude of
Esaú,
them is
si a Esaú
utterly
lo
rooted out.
dejan que haga lo que le dé su gana en la tierra, si el Señor deja que haga lo que le dé la gana, Él va a destruir todo. Habrá varias extinciones de varios animales. Ya hay varios animales
which I
extintos
brought forth with
por
pains
este
and
hombre,
bare
porque
with
Esaú es
sorrows.
un cazador
But the
diestro.
earth not so, for
Es
the
diestro en la
multitude
casa,
present
como
in it
creo que
according to
dice
the
en
course of the
Génesis.
earth is gone as it came. Then said I unto you, like as you have brought forth with labor, even so the earth also hath given her fruit, namely, man, ever since the beginning unto him that made her. Now therefore keep thy sorrow to yourself,
Génesis
and
capítulo
bear with a good
25,
courage
versículo
that which hath
27.
befallen thee. For if you shall
Crecieron los
acknowledge the
muchachos.
determination of the Most High to be
Esaú
just,
llegó a
you
ser
shall both receive your son
un
in
cazador
time,
experto,
and shall be
un
commended
hombre
among women.
montaraz, y Jacob un hombre muy casero.
Go your way then into the
Y
city
los
to
israelitas,
your
¿qué es lo que le
husband.
gustan hacer los
And she said
israelitas? Los
unto me,
israelitas les
that
gusta
will
estar
I
chilling en
not
su
do.
casa,
I will not go into the
tranquilito,
city, but here will I
en la
die.
casa.
So I proceeded to speak further unto
Esaú,
her
¿qué es lo que le
and
gusta
said,
hacer?
do not so,
Está
but
en
be
el campo
counseled by
cazando.
me, for how many are the adversities
Un cazador
of Zion,
experto con la
who
bendición de la
comfort in
espada que
regard
le
of the
dio,
sorrow of Jerusalem.
que le dio Isaac.
For you see is that our sanctuary
Ellos
is
matan
laid waste, our altar
animales.
broken down, our
Ellos
temple
cazan
destroyed.
animales por deporte.
Our
Que
psaltery
tú
is
nunca
laid
ves
on
un
the
hombre
ground,
israelita,
our
un
songs
negro
put to silence.
o un hispano,
Our
un
rejoicing
israelita
is
del
at
reino
an
del
end.
norte cazando
The light
animales
of our
por deporte.
candlestick is put out.
Si
The
nosotros
ark of our
cazamos
covenant
es
is
porque
full.
tenemos hambre.
Our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost
Pero
profaned.
Esaú caza por
Our
deporte.
children are put to shame, our priests are burnt. Our Levites
Y
are gone into
si el
captivity.
Señor lo deja
Our
quieto,
virgins are
Esaú, mira,
defiled, and
acaba
our
con todos los
wives
animales en la
ravaged.
tierra.
Our righteous men carried away.
Y
Our
tendremos
little
que
ones destroyed.
depender
Our young men are brought in
de una
bondage,
vaina que
and
ellos
our
crezcan en un
strong men are
laboratorio, de
become weak.
que Soylent Green
And which is the greatest of us all?
una
The
carne
seal of
falsa
Zion
que ellos
hath
crezcan
now
en el
lost her
laboratorio.
honor, for she
O
is
comida
delivered into the
genéticamente
hands of them
modificada,
that
porque
hate
este
us.
hombre es el maldito
And
fucking
therefore
diablo en
shake
la
off
tierra.
thy great heaviness, and put away the
Este hombre no
multitude
puede
of
hacer
sorrows,
nada bien en la
that the
tierra.
mighty may be merciful unto thee again, and the highest shall give thee rest and ease from your labor.
Por eso es que Yahweh Señor tiene que volver pronto
And it came to pass, while I was
y
talking
destruir
with
a
her,
todos los
behold, her
impíos.
face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her
Él
countenance
tiene que volver pronto y
glistered, so that I
establecer
was
su
afraid of
reino
her, and
y
these
sacar
made
a
my
Esaú, a
And
Satanás
behold, suddenly
del
she
mando,
made a great cry, very
porque
fearful,
si no el
so
mundo
that the earth shook at
será
the noise of the
destruido.
woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more, but there was a city building, and a large place showed itself from the foundations. Then was I afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel, the angel who came unto me at the first? For he hath caused me to fall into many trances, and my end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. And as I was speaking these
Yahweh
words,
Señor
behold, he
está
came
acelerando
unto
el
me, and
tiempo.
looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and my understanding was taken
Está
from
acelerando
me.
el tiempo, por eso
And
que
he
el
took me
tiempo.
by the right hand and comforted
Yo soy,
me, and
yo,
set
mira,
me
yo
upon
soy
my
un niño
feet,
de los
and said
90.
unto me,
Yo me
What
crié en
aileth
mi
thee,
niñez en
and
los
why are
90.
you so disquieted? And why is your understanding troubled, and the thoughts of your heart? And I said,
Yo nací
Because
en el
you have
87.
forsaken me, and yet I did according to your
Me
word.
crié en los 90.
And I went into the field,
En
and
los
lo, I
90
had
yo me
seen
recuerdo
not
que
yet
cuando yo
that
miraba
I'm
un
not
reloj,
able to express.
un
And he
reloj
said unto me,
análogo,
Stand up, man,
que los segundos pasaban lento.
Then said I, Speak on, my Lord, and me only
Los
forsake
segundos
me
pasaban
not,
lento.
lest I
Ahora, en
die
el 2020, yo
frustrate
veo
of
un
my
reloj
hope.
análogo
For I
y
have
los
seen
segundos
that
están
I knew
pasando
not,
rápido.
and hear that I do not know. Was my sense
Yo no sé si es mi
deceived, or my
percepción
soul
del
in a
tiempo,
dream? Now therefore I
pero
beseech
el
thee,
tiempo
that
está
you
pasando
will show
rápido.
your
Y eso es porque
servant
Yahweh
understanding.
está acelerando el tiempo.
Verse 38.
Tú sales, mira, tú sales a hacer una
Answered me
diligencia.
then and said, Hear me, and I shall inform thee, and
Tú
tell
sales
thee
a
wherefore you are afraid. For the
a
highest will
las 8 de la
reveal
mañana y
his
cuando tú
secret
vuelves a la
things
casa
to thee.
ya son como la 1.
He hath said that your
O
way
las
is
12.
right, for you that sorrow was continually
Antes
for
tú
your
salías a hacer
people,
una
and making
diligencia
great
a las 8 de la
lamentation
mañana
in Zion.
y tú volvías a las 9 o a
This
las 9 y
therefore
media.
is the meaning of the vision which
Es que
you
el
lately
tiempo se está
saw.
acelerando.
You saw a woman mourning, and you began to comfort her. But now see you the likeness of the woman no more. But there
Mateo
appeared unto
24,
you
versículo
the seed
22.
baby. And
Y si
whereas
aquellos
she
días
told
no
you
se
of the death of
abreviarán,
her son,
no se
this is the
salvaría
solution.
nadie. Pero en
This
atención a los
woman whom you
elegidos
saw
se
is
abreviarán
Zion,
aquellos
and
días.
whereas she said unto you, even she whom you see as a city building. Whereas I say, she said unto
¿Cuál es el
you,
versículo
that
21?
she hath been 30 years barren. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her.
Yo
But
voy a
after
empezar
30
con
years, Solomon builded the city and offered offerings, and then bear the barren a son. And whereas she told you that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto
Mateo
you
24, versículo
that my
14.
son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fall and died,
proclamará
this
esta
was the
buena nueva
destruction that came to
del
Jerusalem.
reino en el
And
mundo
behold,
entero
you saw her likeness,
para dar
and because
testimonio a
she
todas las
mourned for her
naciones.
son, began to
Y entonces
comfort
vendrá
her.
el fin.
And of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto you.
Esta
For now
buena
the
nueva,
Most
eso
High
tú estás hablando de esta
sees that you
noticia
are
buena de
grieved
que nosotros somos los
continually, and
israelitas, los verdaderos
suffers
israelitas
from your whole heart for her. So hath he showed you the brightness of her glory and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade you remain in the field where no house was builded, for I knew that the highest would show this unto you. Therefore I commanded you to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to
nosotros somos
show
los
the
verdaderos
city,
israelitas,
there can no man build it.
que Esaú es el hombre blanco.
And therefore,
La
fear
mayoría de
not,
lo
let
que
not
Esaú
your heart
es
be
la mayoría de los
affrighted,
hombres blancos.
but go your way in and see the beauty and greatness
Que la
of the
reencarnación
building,
es
as
una
much as
verdadera
your eyes
doctrina.
be able to see. And then shall you hear as much as your
Que
ears
Yahushua es un hombre negro.
For you are
Que
blessed above
Jesucristo no es
many
ningún
other,
maldito,
and are called with
que él no
the
se llama
highest,
Jesús
and
ni
so
es
are
un
but
hombre
few.
blanco.
But tomorrow at night you shall remain here. And so shall the highest show you visions of the high things which the Most High will do
Esa es
unto
la
them
verdadera
that
buena
dwell
nueva.
upon earth in the
La mierda
last
que están
days.
enseñando en esta iglesia
So
no
I
es
slept
la
that
verdadera
night,
buena
and
nueva,
another,
porque
like unto
el
commanded.
cristianismo está en el mundo entero. El cristianismo,
Chapter 11.
los
Then
hijos
saw
del
I a
profeta
dream,
falso,
and behold, there
que
came up
son,
from
que
the
es la
sea
iglesia
an eagle, which
católica,
had 12 feathered wings and 3
han
heads.
ido a toda parte,
And I saw,
han ido al
and
mundo
behold,
entero.
she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of
Y
the
si,
air
y si,
blew on
y
her,
si el
and were
profeta
gathered
falso
together. And
fuera la
I
verdad,
beheld, and out of her
ya hubiera
feathers
llegado el
there
fin,
grew other contrary
porque el
feathers,
cristianismo ha
making them
llegado
little feathers
a toda la
and
esquina de la
small.
tierra.
But her heads were at rest. The head in the middle was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon earth, and over them that dwell therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her,
Cuando
not
lleguen los
one
milagros a la
creature
tierra,
upon earth.
y todo el mundo oiga Yahweh, pasen Yahweh, todo el mundo oiga el verdadero nombre de Yahweh, el Padre, y el verdadero nombre del Hijo,
Sleep everyone in
Yahweh,
his own place, and watch by course.
y sepa la verdad, y oiga esta verdad, aunque la acepten o no la acepten,
And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her head, but from the middle of her
o
body.
gentiles.
And I numbered her contrary feathers, and
No
behold,
importa.
there were 8 of them. And I looked,
Cuando
and
todos los
behold, on the
israelitas
right
escuchen esta
side
verdad,
there arose one feather, and reigned over all the earth.
entonces llegarán
And
los
so it
misiles.
was that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no
Entonces vendrá
more.
el fin.
So the next following stood up and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear you that has borne rule over the earth so long. This I say unto you, before
Cuando
you
vean
begin
pues
to
la
appear
abominación
no
de la
more,
desolación
there shall none after
anunciada
you
por el
attain
profeta
unto your
Daniel,
time,
erigida en el
unto the
lugar
half
santo.
thereof.
El que lea que comprenda.
Then
Entonces los que
arose the
estén en
third,
Judea
and
huyan a
reigned
los
as the other
montes.
before, and appeared no
El que
more
esté en la
also.
azotea no baje a
So
recoger
went
las
it
cosas
with
de
all
su
the
casa.
residue, one after
Y el que esté en
another,
el campo
as
no
that
regrese en
everyone
busca de
reigned,
su
and
manto.
then appeared no more. Then I beheld,
Hay de las
and lo,
que
in process
estén
of
embarazados
time,
o
the feathers
criando
that followed
en
stood
aquellos
up
días.
upon the right side, that they might rule also.
Oren para que
And
su
some of them
huida
ruled, but within a while
suceda
they
en
appeared
invierno
no
ni en
more.
día de sábado.
For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no
Porque habrá
more,
entonces
nor
una
the 2
gran
little feathers.
tribulación, cual
And
no
there was
la
no
hubo
more
desde el
upon the
principio del
eagle's
mundo,
body, but
hasta el
3 heads
presente,
that
ni
rested,
volverá a
and 6
haberla.
little wings. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers
Y
divided
mira,
themselves from the
la
6,
abominación de la
and remained
desolación,
under
está
the
hablando de la
head that was
bestia,
upon the right
de la,
side.
de
For the
la
4
Unión
continued in
Europea,
their place.
la fuerza de
And I
Saúl,
beheld,
básicamente,
and
la
lo,
fuerza
the
militar
feathers
de
that were
Saúl, esa es la
under the
bestia.
wing thought to set
Y
up
cuando-
themselves and to have the rule. And I
Y
beheld,
cuando la
and
vea
lo,
erigida
there
en el
was
lugar
one set
santo,
up, but shortly it
que
appeared no
significa
more.
Jerusalén,
And the second was
porque
sooner
el lugar
away than
santo
the
es
first.
Jerusalén, y eso
Verse
está hablando
28.
de los escogidos.
And I
Porque los
beheld,
escogidos
and
cuando
lo,
vayan a
the two
reunirse
that
de
remained
nuevo,
thought also in themselves to
cuando
reign.
nosotros nos estamos
And when
reuniendo,
they
nosotros
so
somos
thought,
Jerusalén.
behold, there awakened
Entonces
one of
cuando
the
venga
heads that were at
la
rest,
bestia
namely,
para,
it that was in the middle, for that was greater than the two
como
other
dice en
heads.
Apocalipsis 12,
And then I saw
eso
that the
también se
two
refiere a
other heads were
Apocalipsis.
joined with it, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the two feathers under the
Mateo
wings that
24
were
y 15
at
también
range.
se refiere a
But this head
Apocalipsis
put the whole earth in
12.
fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the middle suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. Verse 35. And I beheld, and lo,
Apocalipsis 12,
the head
versículo
upon the
2.
right side devoured
Por
it
eso,
that was upon the left side.
regocíjense cielos y los que en ellos
Then I heard a
habitan.
voice which said unto me, Look before you, and consider the thing that you see. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he
cielos y
spit out
los
a
que en ellos
man's voice
habitan. Eso
unto
está
the
hablando
eagle
de,
and said,
también de los
Hear
escogidos.
you, I will talk with you, and the
Porque
highest
nosotros
shall
representamos
say
los
unto
cielos.
you, Are not you it that remaineth of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the
Y
end
nosotros
of their
vamos-
times
vamos-
might come through them?
Nosotros
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
pero
And so
nosotros
long
también
time
representamos
dwelt
el
he
cielo y
upon
vamos,
the earth with
vamos
deceit. For the earth hath
regocijar
not judged with truth. For you have
porque
afflicted the
sabemos
meek,
que
you
ya
have
está
hurt the
acercando el fin.
peaceable, you have loved liars,
Y-
and
y se
destroyed
está
the
acercando
dwellings of
Yahushua.
them that brought forth fruit, and has cast
Ay de
down
la
the
tierra y
walls
del
of
mar,
such as
porque
did you no harm.
el diablo
Therefore
ha
is
bajado a
your
ustedes con
wrongful
gran
doing
furor,
come up unto
sabiendo
the
que le queda
highest,
poco
and your
tiempo.
pride unto the mighty.
Y esto está hablando desde que
The highest
Satanás,
also
Saúl,
has looked
él
upon the
va,
proud
él va
times,
a
and
perseguir
behold, they
a
are
todos los
ended, and his
israelitas,
abominations are
hasta los
fulfilled.
2 tercios.
And therefore
Él no,
appear no more
porque
you
ellos saben,
people,
ellos
nor
saben
your
que no,
horrible
quiénes somos.
wings, nor your wicked feathers, nor
Nuestros
your
enemigos
malicious
conocen
heads,
nuestra verdadera
nor your
identidad. Ellos
hurtful
saben que nosotros
claws,
somos
nor
los
all
verdaderos
your vain
israelitas.
body. That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered
Ellos saben
from
que
your
nosotros somos los verdaderos
violence, and that
israelitas.
she may hope for the
Entonces
judgment
Satanás
and mercy of
cuando
him that
sepa que le
made
queda
him.
poco tiempo, él va a tratar de subyugar a Israel, a la
Chapter
nación
12.
entera de Israel, y
And
van
it
a
came
meter,
to
y van a
pass,
meter
while
a
the
muchos
lion
israelitas
spake these
en
words unto the
cautiverio.
eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remained, and the four wings appeared no more. And the two went unto it, and set themselves up to reign, and their kingdom was small and full of uproar. And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more. And the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear.
Entonces
Then
cuando
awakened
venga,
I out of the
cuando venga la
trouble, and
bestia con toda
trance of
esa
my
fuerza,
mind,
como
and
dice
great fear, and said unto my spirit, Lo, this have you done unto me, in that you
Mateo
search out
24.
the ways of the highest.
Jehová se me
Lo,
va a
yet am I
levantar una
weary
bandera
in my
contra él.
mind, and very weak in my spirit. And little strength is there in me,
Y
for
ahí
the
cuando
great
dice,
fear
ay,
with which
ay,
I
de-
was affrighted this night.
De
Therefore
las que
will I
están
now
embarazadas,
beseech
que
the
llaman aquellos
highest,
días. Mira, eso
that
está
he will
hablando
comfort me unto the end.
de esas mujeres
And I
israelitas dos
said,
tercios
Most
que van a
high,
ser
that bearest rule,
perseguidas.
if I have found
Y ellos no le van a
grace before thy
importar
sight,
si
and
tú
if
estás
I am
embarazada o si
justified
tú eres vieja o
before many
un bebé.
others.
No le
And if my
importa nada
prayer
de eso.
indeed be come up before
Pero
your
Jehová
face,
Señor se va a proteger a
comfort
su
me then, and
escogido.
show me your
Y
servant
también
the
habrá algunos de
interpretation
los
and
hermanos que
plain
van a morir,
difference of this fearful vision,
porque tendrán
that
que
you
ser
may as
firmes
perfectly
hasta la muerte.
comfort my soul. For you have judged me worthy
si
to
ese
show me
es
the
mi
last
lote,
time.
Eso es lo que tiene que pasar. Y si
And
no,
he said
no es
unto
mi
me,
lote.
This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom you saw has come up from the sea is
Pero
the
si tú estás
kingdom
destinado a
which was
rechazar
seen
la
in
marca
the
de la bestia,
vision
y él
of
viene
your
con,
brother Daniel.
y Satanás viene con
But
ese
it was
furor
not expounded unto him, therefore now
para
I
subyugar
declare it
con la
unto
marca de la
you.
bestia.
Behold, the days will
Porque
come
cuando
that
él te
there
mete
shall
ese
rise
chip,
up
ya
his kingdom
tú
upon
eres de él.
earth, and it shall be feared above
Él
all
no
the
tiene razón
kingdoms
para perseguir.
that were before it.
Pero como
In the
quiera,
same
él va a
shall
perseguir.
12
Mira,
kings reign, one
mira, ese
after
diablo,
another.
aun cuando él te
Whereof
mete
the
el chip,
second
te va a
shall
meter,
begin to
te va
reign,
a
and shall
dejar
have more time than
en
any
esa
of the
aula.
12. And this do the 12 wings signify which you saw. As for the voice which you heard speak, and that you saw not to go out from the heads, but from the middle of the body thereof, this is the interpretation. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. And whereas you saw the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation. Verse 20. That in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose time shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept until the end. And whereas you saw 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In his last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein. And they shall have the dominion of the earth, and of those that dwell therein with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the earth. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And whereas you saw that the great head appeared no more, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall from the sword himself. Whereas you saw 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifieth that these are they whom the highest have kept under the end. This is the small kingdom and full of trouble, as you saw it. Verse 31. And the lion whom you saw us rising
Porque
about
vendrá el enemigo
the
como
room,
río.
speaking to the eagle,
Está hablando
and
de
rebuking her for
Satanás,
unrighteousness with
el
all
hombre
the words
blanco,
which she
como
hath
dicen
heard.
Apocalipsis 12,
This
versículo
is
12,
the
que vendrá
anointing which the highest hath kept for them, and for their wickedness unto the end.
con furor a la tierra porque le queda poco tiempo, porque él sabe que Yahushua viene pronto para acabar
For he
con su
shall
reino.
set them before him alive in judgment, and shall
Entonces va a
rebuke
tratar de
them and
subjugar,
correct
él va
them.
a mandar su
For the
capo
rest of
negro,
my
su
people
tropa
shall
para
he
tratar
deliver with mercy,
de agarrar los
those
escogidos,
that
pero
have
el
been
Señor
preserved
le va a dar
upon
poder
my
espiritual
borders,
a
and he
los
shall make
escogidos
them
para que le
joyful
metan
in
mano.
of the day of judgment.
Van a ver vainas de
Whereof I have
películas de
spoken
Superman,
unto thee from the beginning.
superhéroes, van a ver
This
vainas
is the
así,
dream that you
tigres
saw,
volando,
and
metiéndole
these are the
mano,
interpretations.
a los leones
You
volando,
only have
metiéndole
to
mano.
reach to know the
Los dominicanos les
secret
gusta
of the
decir mucho
highest.
tigre.
Therefore write all
Pero
these things that you have seen
van a ver,
in a
ustedes van a
book,
ver
and
estos
hide
leones
them,
levantándose,
and teach
metiendo
them
mano
to the wise of the people whose hearts you knowest may
a los
comprehend and keep
enemigos.
these things. But wait you here yourself 7 days more, that it may be showed you
Porque vendrá el enemigo como
whatsoever it
río.
pleaseth the highest to declare unto you. And with that he went his
Mas el
way.
espíritu de Yahweh levantará bandera
Verse 40.
contra él.
And it came to pass, when all the people saw that the 7 days were past, and I not come again into the city, they
¿Y
gathered
qué
them
se
all
refiere a esa bandera?
together.
Esa bandera se
And the
refiere a
least
los
unto
poderes
the greatest
espirituales,
came unto me and
un
said,
estándar
What, have we offended you?
que
And
Yahweh
what evil have we done against you?
le va a dar
That you
poderes
forsake us and
espirituales
sit here in this place?
a sus
For
escogidos, a
all of
aquellos
the
que guardaron
prophets you
su
only are
palabra,
left, as a
que están
cluster of
destinados
the
para-
vintage, and as a candle
para
in a dark
defender-
place, and as a haven or ship
para
preserved
defenderse
from
y
the
también
temple.
defender los
Are
remanentes
not
de
the
Israel.
evils which are come to us sufficient? If you shall forsake us, how much
Porque
better
nosotros vamos
had
a
it
tener
been for
poderes como
us
los
if we
ángeles.
also had been burned in the midst
Vamos a
of
poder volar,
Zion? For we are not better than they that died
tirar
there,
fuego
and
de
they
la
wept
boca.
with a loud voice. Then answered I them
parar
and
la
said, Be
lluvia
of
para
good
que deje de
comfort, O
llover,
Israel, and be not heavy, you house of Jacob. For the highest
traer
have you
las
in
plagas a la tierra.
remembrance, and the mighty has not forgotten you in
traer plagas a
temptation.
la tierra,
As for me, I have not forsaken
como en los
you,
tiempos de
neither am I
Moisés.
departed from you, but am coming to this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I may seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home every man, and after these days will I come unto you. Verse 50. So the people went their way into the city like as I commanded them, but I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the earth. Chapter 13. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
Apocalipsis 11, versículo 5. Si alguien pretendiera hacerles mal, saldría fuego de su boca y devoraría a sus enemigos. Si alguien pretendiera hacerles mal, así tendría que morir. Estos tienen poder de cerrar el cielo para que no llueva los días ni que profetice. Tienen también poder sobre las aguas para convertirlas en sangre y poder de herir la tierra con toda clase de plagas todas las veces que quiera. Pero cuando hayan terminando de dar testimonio, la bestia que surja del abismo les hará la guerra y los vencerá y los matará. Así que van a ver algunos de los 144,000 que van a recibir los poderes espirituales, que van a ser derrotados por Esaú. Pero Yahweh lo va a resucitar.
And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared
Y
to
su
fight,
cadáver
and
es en la
burned
plaza de
them
la
up
gran
every
ciudad,
one.
que
So that
simbólicamente
upon a
se llama
sudden
Sodoma
of
o
an
Egipto,
innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived,
allí donde
but
también
only
su
dust
Señor fue
and smell of
crucificado.
smoke. When I saw this, I was
Y gente de
afraid.
los pueblos, razas, lenguas y naciones contemplarán sus cadáveres 3 días y medio. No está permitido sepultar sus cadáveres. Los habitantes de la tierra se alegrarán, se alegran y se regocijan por causa de ellos y se intercambian regalos, porque estos dos profetas habían atormentado a los habitantes de la tierra.
Then was I sick through great fear, and I
Pero
awakened
pasados los
and
3
said,
días y
You
medio,
have showed your servant these
un aliento de
wonders
vida
from the beginning,
procediente
and
de
have
Dios
counted me
entró en
worthy
ellos
that
y
you
se
should
pusieron de
receive
pie,
my prayer.
y un gran
Show
espanto
me
se
now
apoderó
yet
de
the
quienes los
interpretation of this
contemplaban.
dream. For as I
Oí
conceived
entonces
in my
una fuerte voz que
understanding, woe
les
unto them that
decía
shall be
desde el
left in
cielo:
those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left
Suban
behind.
acá.
For
Y
they
subieron
that
al
were
cielo
not left
en la
were in
nube,
heaviness.
a la
Now
vista de sus
understand
enemigos.
I the things that are laid
En
up in
aquella
the
hora se
latter
produjo un
days, which
violento
shall happen
terremoto,
unto them,
y
unto
la
those
décima
that
parte de
are
la
left
ciudad se
behind.
derrumbó.
Therefore
Y
are
con
they
el
come
terremoto
into great perils and many
perecieron 7,000
necessities,
personas.
like as these dreams
Los
declare.
supervivientes,
Yet
presa del
is it
espanto,
easier for him that is in
dieron gloria
danger
al
to
cielo
come into
de-
these things
dieron-
than to
dieron
pass
gloria al
away
Dios
as a
del
cloud
cielo.
out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, verse 21.
Y eso está hablando, mira,
The interpretation of the
Apocalipsis
vision
11 se
shall I show
refiere
you, and I
a
will
dos
open
cosas,
unto
porque
you the thing
eso
you
se
have
refiere
required.
a los israelitas, a
Whereas
nosotros
you have
cuando
spoken of
que
them
tuvimos
that are left
muertos,
behind, this is the interpretation.
eh,
He that shall endure the
que
peril
fuimos
in
los
the time
huesos
hath kept
secos,
himself. They that be fallen
sin
into danger
conocimiento,
are
sin
such
carne.
as
Nosotros ni
have
estábamos
works
desnudos,
and
éramos,
faith toward the
ni éramos
Almighty.
cuerpo, estábamos
Know
unos,
this
unos
therefore,
huesos
that they
secos,
which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning
sin
of the
conocimiento de
vision.
Yahweh cuando
Whereas
entramos en la
you saw a
esclavitud
man coming up from the midst of
desde
the sea, the
1492,
same is he whom the Creator, the highest,
cuando
hath
vino
kept
ese
a
maldito
great season,
asesino,
which by his own self
y
shall
ladrón,
deliver
el
his
Colón,
creature, and he shall order them that
para
are
iniciar
left
la esclavitud
behind.
la última esclavitud
And
de
whereas
Israel.
you saw that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind
Entonces,
from fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor
ellos
any
celebraron, las
instrument of war,
naciones, ellos celebraron
but that the
porque nos
rushing
tuvieron en
in of
esclavitud
him destroyed the
y se
whole
regalaron
multitude
entre
that
ellos,
came
ellos
to
nos
subdue him.
regalaron a nosotros.
This is the
Nosotros éramos los regalos.
Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another.
Y no
And
está
the time
permitido
shall be
sepultar
when
sus
these
cadáveres,
things shall
o sea
come
que
to pass,
no nos
and the
dieron
sign shall
descanso.
happen which I showed you before, and
Estábamos
then
en
my
esclavitud.
son shall be declared, whom you saw as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every
Y
man
los dos
shall in
testigos
their own
significa el reino del
land
norte y el reino
lead
del
the
sur de
battle they
Israel.
have one against another. And an
la
innumerable
casa de
multitude
David,
shall be gathered together,
los
as you saw
144,000, el
them,
remanente
willing
de
to come
Israel.
and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men.
Ellos son los dos
being prepared and
olivos y los dos
builded, like
candeleros
as
que
you
están
saw
en pie
the
delante
hill
del Señor de
graven
la
without
tierra.
hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And they shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto fire. And whereas you saw that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep there the statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called ⁴rent. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest you the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of the people are they that are found within my borders. Now when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. Verse 50. And then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O master that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the middle of the sea? And he said unto me, like as you can neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which you saw, and whereby you only are here lightened. For you have forsaken your own way, and applied your diligence unto my law, and sought it. Your life have you ordered in wisdom, and has called understanding your mother. And therefore have I showed you the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days, I will speak other things unto you, and declare unto you mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders which he did in time. And because he governed the same in such things as fall in the seasons, and there I sat 3 days.
De que yo estaba levitando en Nueva York, yo estaba en Times Square.
And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against
No había nadie en la calle, habían como 2 o 3 personas.
And I said, Here am I, master. And I stood upon my feet.
Y eso fue un sueño raro, porque cuando yo empecé a levitar, yo me fui a una nube circular, como una nube que se parecía como un carro escondido dentro de una nube. Y me estaba jalando la nube para arriba. Y cuando yo entré me desperté. Se puso todo blanco y me desperté. No me quise compartir. Yo tengo muchos sueños así, pero yo no los comparto. Yo prefiero quedarme con esos sueños privados. Yo no quiero darte testimonio de esos sueños porque también se dice de la escritura el que se enaltece por los sueños es por vanidad, porque muchos sueños son vanidad. Pero también muchos sueños son una visión.
And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Now therefore set your house in order, and reprove your people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste you to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which you have seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the truth is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasted the vision to come, which you have seen. Then answered I before thee and said, verse 20, Behold, master, I will go as you have commanded me. and reprove the people which are
Eclesiástico
present.
34, versículo 1. Las esperanzas vanas y engañosas son propias del necio. Los sueños dan alas a los insensatos.
Therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of you, or the works that shall begin. But if I have found grace before you, send the Holy Ghost
Atrapar sombras y perseguir viento es fiarse de los sueños.
Which were written in thy law, that men may find your path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. And he answered me, saying, Go your way, gather the people together, and say unto them, that they seek you not for 40 days. But look you,
espejo y sueños son cosas semejantes. Frente a un rostro, la imagen de un rostro. De lo impuro puede salir algo puro. De la mentira puede salir algo verdadero. Adivinaciones, augurios y sueños son vanas ilusiones, como fantasía de una mujer en parto, a menos que venga de parte del Altísimo. No abra tu corazón a esta cosa. Yo creo que esos sueños vienen de Yahweh. Porque muchos se extraviaron por los sueños y fracasaron por fiarse de ellos. La ley se ha de cumplir sin engaño, y la sabiduría en una boca sincera es perfección. Así que si los sueños vienen, mira, ¿ustedes creen que Yahweh te va a dar sueño de poder espiritual? Le va a dar sueño de poder espiritual a un hombre impío.
And for as much as he is
Yo
a
además tengo que dar, mira,
righteous
que
judge,
estaba
he
Yahweh
took upon the thing that he had
mi
given.
nombre posiblemente puede estar escrito en el libro de la
And now
vida.
are you here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your
Porque yo no creo que
and reform your hearts, you shall be kept
que él
alive,
te
and
dará
after
un sueño
death
así.
you shall obtain mercy.
Si ustedes tienen sueños donde le pasan cosas así, que se van en la nube, o que se van en los carros espirituales, en los ovnis, que es el verdadero rapto cuando llegue Yahushua. Porque tienen poder espiritual. Mira, eso significa que viene del Señor. Ese sueño te lo mandó el Señor.
And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, open your mouth and drink, that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. Verse 40. And I took it and
Esos
drank, and
sueños,
when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, and my spirit strengthened in my memory. And my mouth was
sueño
open,
espiritual,
and shut
que
no
cosas
more.
espirituales es
The
posible que
highest
Yahweh
gave
Señor esté
understanding
tratando contigo,
unto the five
que Él te
men,
mandó
and
ese
they wrote the
sueño.
wonderful
Porque como
visions
dice ahí,
of the
puede
night
venir
that
algo
were
impuro
told,
de algo,
which
puede
they
venir
knew
algo puro de
not.
algo impuro.
And they sat 40 days, and they
Así
wrote
que
in a
vamos, yo le
day,
voy a dar
and at night
alabanza
they ate bread.
al Padre en
As for
hebreo,
me, I spake in a day, and I felt
mirando
not
al
my
este,
tongue
a
by
Jerusalén.
night. In 40 days there were 204 books.
Kahalala
And it
Yahweh
came to
Ba'asem
pass
Yahushai
in 40
Ba'asem
days
Rukakadash.
were fulfilled that the highest
Barakata
spake,
Yahweh,
saying,
Barakata
The
Yahushai.
first that you have
Barakata
written
Yahweh,
published
Barakata
openly,
Yahushai.
that the worthy and
Barakata Yahweh,
unworthy may
Barakata
read.
Yahushai
But
Ba'asem
keep the 70
Rukakadash.
last, that you may deliver them only to such as be wise.
Doble
among
honrada a
the
los
people.
apóstoles, a los ancianos
For
de
in them
Yasharala,
is
the
the
great
spring of
millstone.
understanding, the fountain of wisdom,
Shalom a
and the
los
spring of
escogidos.
knowledge. And I did so.
Listen up. Get all your units to move in and
Chapter
lock down the
15.
city.
Behold, speak you in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in your mouth, saith the Most High, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against you. Let not the incredulity of them trouble you that speak against you. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore it saith the Most High, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Most High, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite you with the plague, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, and from the east, and to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they that do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosoms. Thus saith the Most High Almighty. Verse 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin, and keep not my commandments, saith the Most High. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. For the Most High knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them into death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Verse 30. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Then these shall be troubled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread, and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east, and from the north into the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. And strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind, shall be destroyed. Verse 40. The great and mighty cloud shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star. Fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. Verse 42. And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood and grass of the meadows, and their corn. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her, the star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her, and they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And you, Asia, that are a partaker of the hope of Babylon, and are the glory of her person, woe be unto you, you wretch, because you have made yourself like unto her, and has decked your daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in your lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with you. You have followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the Most High, I will send plagues upon you, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste your houses with destruction and death. Verse 15. And the glory of your power shall be dried up as a flower, when the heat shall arise that is sent over you. You shall be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive you. Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against you, saith the Most High, if you had not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of your hands, and saying over their dead when you were drunk. Set forth the beauty of thy countenance. The reward of your whoredom shall be in your bosom, therefore shall you receive recompense. Like as you have done unto my chosen, saith the Most High, even so shall the Most High do unto you, and shall deliver you into mischief. Your children shall die of hunger, and you shall fall through the sword. Your cities shall be broken down, and all yours shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat of their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. You as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues again. Verse 16. And in the passage they shall rush on the idol city, and shall destroy some portion of your land, and consume part of your glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed. And you shall be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire, and shall consume thee, and your cities, your land, and your mountains. All your woods and your fruitful trees shall they burn up with fire. Your children shall they carry away captive, and look, what you have they shall spoil it, and mar the beauty of your face. Chapter 16. Woe be unto you, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto you, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Beware your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Most High sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Verse 11. The Most High shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. And the fishes thereof also before the Most High, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves, and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. For as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. Verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Most High. Behold the word of the Most High, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Most High spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it every side. Verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor, labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captive. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, and more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Most High. Like as a whore envieth a right honest and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, when he cometh that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth. Verse 51. And therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. Let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which saith before the Most High power and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, the Most High knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts, which spake but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. In his word were the stars made, and he knoweth the number of them. He searcheth the deep, and the treasures thereof. He measured the sea, and what it containeth. He hath shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. He spreadeth out the heavens like a vault, upon the waters hath he founded it. Verse 60. In the desert hath he made springs of water and pools upon the tops of the mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. He made man and put his heart in the middle of his body, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. Yea, and the Spirit of the Almighty, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth, surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. Therefore hath the Most High exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, you shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. What will you do, or how will you hide your sins before the Most High and his angels? Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot. Verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Most High, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. And the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Most High. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith.